Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Mighty Electronic Fox. It's going up probably sometime during the week for 9th of September 2013. Hopefully. Brad, that's on you. Or Joe. I don't know.
Nice.
Who does that stuff?
Wait, what day is this going up?
9th of September?
Never. This is never going up. I will never
fuck
upload
this
this
show.
podcast because it's
Okay, well,
shitty.
whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, sometime then.
Approved.
So it's been a reasonably quiet week in terms of news. It's only one reasonably big news story, and it's been pretty quiet in terms of me playing games as well. So
Yeah, me too. I haven't
Yeah.
played much this
Brad,
week.
I
did you play
played 2
anything?
games.
Okay,
Yes.
that's more than me. So Brad, you go
Wow.
first.
Sick. I'm stoked. So I don't actually know. I can't decide which one to start with. I guess I'll start with the one I played the least, which is, interesting enough, Rome Total War 2. Or Total War Rome 2 is the correct way of saying that.
Yes.
So
Which
it's
came
not
out.
Rome 2 Total War.
No, it's Total War Rome 2.
I did not
Weird
know.
naming conventions.
Although everyone refers to it just as Rome. So.
Yeah. Is that the
Um,
same? Did they use the same naming convention for the new Shogun game?
Yes, Shogun appears in my Steam library as Total War Shogun 2.
Okay.
Although they changed from numbers to Roman numerals because Rome.
Oh, okay.
So there's that. Yeah, that came out this week, and it was out on Tuesday. But I ordered it in the mail because it was like a 10 gig download, and my home internet sucks D. So I was like, well, I'll get the discs and install it off the disc because I don't want to, spend a week downloading it.
And then you get to have the case though.
I know, it's actually kind of cool because now I have it.
Surely
next
that must
to
have
my-
like some bitchin' case.
So it actually has a reversible cover, and it has basically a very similar cover to the original Rome because I actually got out the original Total War Rome case and put it alongside it to like compare. The main thing that I hate about PC games now is, like, I picked up my old Rome case and I was like, holy fuck, this thing is heavy. And then you look inside and there's like a 5,000 page manual on how to play the game. And then you open up the new one, and to be fair, it has quite a substantial manual. But when you compare it to, what they used to be like, it's kind of depressing. I had the same thing going from Elder Scrolls Oblivion case to the Skyrim case. I was like,
Does it
Yeah,
have
this
it in different languages? Because I know a lot of older manuals did. I know, like whenever I find a PS1 game that's still got its manual, they're always fucking huge because they're in about 6 different languages.
no, I'm just, both of them just English. Just
Oh, right.
one
So
of them
it is just a
twice the size
giant
of the other.
manual.
They went seriously in depth with explaining how the original Rome worked in that manual, which is kind of cool. And also, it had like a keyboard quick reference on the back page, which is how you should do it. You shouldn't have to make you flip to page 39 in the manual. It's probably not page 39. Don't quiz me on that. To try and find the keyboard quick reference, which also isn't a quick reference because it's not all on one sheet. It was actually kind of shit and annoying. Anyway, the game itself. So the game came out on Tuesday, but my disc didn't arrive till Wednesday. So I got to enjoy everyone's reactions to the game and the fact that it is broken in some, I suppose, significant ways, which is kind of disappointing, but I don't know.
Like technically or like design? Like by design? Like does the game not work or is there just like broken stuff in the game?
I don't think, I haven't played it enough to say whether or not it's broken by design, but technically it's broken. So the game, for me, when I eventually managed to install it, defaults to extreme graphics. And I don't know, I forgot to do it. That was what I was meant to do before today's podcast. I was meant to go back and play Shogun 2, so I had a comparison. But I'm currently just going off my memories of Shogun 2, and my memories of Shogun 2 were that it was really pretty, and that Rome on Extreme really doesn't quite live up to it. I don't think the water looks quite as good, although like volumetrically wise, it looks really cool. Like the waves look really realistic and like choppy and awesome. But the I don't know, just the actual graphics of the water don't look as nice. There are some serious bugs out there at the moment where no matter what graphic setting you choose, the textures default to the lowest resolution textures, which doesn't help at all.
Is it a pain in the arse to change that stuff, or can you just do it in game? Like you don't have to go out and relaunch it or anything, do you?
No, you don't have to relaunch the game to switch between the graphics settings, but you do have to go into the menu and flick with them around, and it's hard to tell, whether or not you're running at the right settings. Like, there's a lot of threads of people complaining about the settings, and then
They're no recommend it. Most games usually default to what your PC is.
Yeah, and mine defaulted to extreme, which runs at sub 20 FPS.
Huh.
So I have given up a long time ago on the default recommendations for frame rate, because everything defaults to like nearly max, and my PC is old enough at this point that it can't hack that, even in a game like this. I mean, I'm partly CPU bound as well, because this is, an RTS, and so it does require a really good CPU, but it can't hack it even graphically at some point, because they have a bunch of stuff in there that is kind of like, they tried to make it fancy, doesn't quite pay off. Another thing, also on Extreme, for me, all the trees and grass look like shit. Like, it was all, you know what I mean when it looks all like pixely and like keeps on like shimmering and moving. Do you kind of understand what I mean? Where you have too many transparent things on top of each other, but they're all not high enough resolution to look nice, or like they're really jaggy, and then it just doesn't work out at all. And that was with AA turned on as well. But there's a setting in there that's like something to do with the foliage. I can't remember what it is. It's called like transparent grass, alpha grass. That was it. Grass alpha setting, which does actually turn on like the transparency AA. And that kills your frame rate. So if you turn that on, basically just don't turn that on. There's like zero PCs that will run on.
Is it a pretty intensive game, like, to run at max? Like, do you need a pretty beefy machine?
Yes, but that's the thing. I don't think it looks much better than Shogun, and I seem to remember that I ran Shogun at a really good frame rate on like the ultra / very high. And this, I'm like struggling at times to get a good frame rate on like very high.
So it could just like really poorly optimized. Or...
I don't know. It seems like it thinks it's running at a higher graphical prowess than it is, because a lot of people, like, on top of the textures not being right, on top of other things, it seems to be like the game is trying to run at high graphics but not really doing it. Anyway, just the long and short of it is there's some weird technical issues, and Creative Assembly have already said they're doing weekly patches. The first one, I think, must have come yesterday actually, to try and improve the performance. And try and really smooth that out. But it's like, it's not game breaking. It's just a bit weird that it just doesn't look quite as good, at least to my memory. As I said, I need to go back and actually play Shogun and compare it before I can say definitively whether that is the case. But irrespective of that, the game itself seems pretty cool. They've changed the way stuff works on the campaign map, which is kind of weird. Like, I swear I remember in Shogun you could set taxes on a province by province basis, but in this, taxes are set like worldwide. So you can only adjust the taxes for everyone. You can't just, tweak the taxes on one town that's slightly unhappy to make them happier. You have to take the taxes down for everyone if you want to try and appease people that way. Which seems a bit weird. Additionally, the way you raise troops is different. So you can just like call them directly to your army, and like, I don't know if you have to be in a town to do that, but you definitely at least have to be in friendly territory. But in enemy territory, you can raise mercenaries, which are kind of randomly like randomized what kind of mercenaries you can get depending on which territory you're in. Stuff like that. They've made some improvements to the naval battles, which are kind of cool, because the naval battles were like pretty shit, in all honesty, in Shogun. I've seen people say they still get boring eventually, but I mean, I've only done like one so far, and it was pretty fun to ram the fuck out of another ship and then watch it splinter up into tiny little pieces and watch all the people drown. So that's good fun. As sadistic as that sounds.
That sounds like good fun, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's got a cinematic camera. There's like a button just permanently on the screen, which is like, hey, if you're not really doing much at the moment, watch it from soldier eye view. And it like zooms down to the soldiers level, and you can look along the ranks of the soldiers. So you can do that on the boat as it rams into another boat, and then watch people go flying over your boat, and then watch as flaming arrows hit everyone on your boat, and they all start burning to death. Boats. That was really cool. So I think that's a bit better.
When is this set like in a specific part in like Roman history, or is it
sort of? Oh god, I don't know what the exact date is. I mean, the prologue was. So I've only played the prologue so far, which was actually longer than I was expecting, because it's kind of like the tutorial. So it's kind of like a tutorial mission, but then it turns into a little mini tutorial campaign. And what makes it different from the actual campaign is it's kind of story driven. So you're fighting against the who the hell was it? I've just forgotten the name of it. It's set around some set of Roman wars that they had with a nearby nation, which I've totally forgotten the name of, and I should have written it down because I knew it before the start of the podcast. But it's kind of, you follow a commander called like Martin Selenius or something. I can't remember his name. And you kind of like almost it's story driven, which is different from the normal campaigns, because the normal campaigns is just like, create your own history, try and conquer everyone as Rome. But it is set around like, just the peak of, the Roman Empire effectively, or at least starting up and then spreading out from that there. So
I'm surprised there's not like more games set in that time. It's like,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I can think of a couple off the top of my head. I know there's probably a few RTSs, but like, non-RTS type games, there's not many. Which is a shame, because I think it's a pretty there's a lot of kind of built-in potential for awesome game stuff in that era.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and throw out Shadow of Rome again here to anybody that hasn't played that, because that's a pretty fucking good example. That game is really good.
Indeed. So yeah, I haven't really dug too deep into Rome. As I said, I've only played like 2 or 3 hours. Some of the changes they've made seem interesting, like not completely earth-shattering. It seems to be quite similar again to in the way Shogun was. I mean, people have already started complaining about how shit the AI is, but that's just a staple of a Total War franchise at this point. You don't play it because the AI is good. You play it because you like the setting. You like the way it plays.
I might try it then, because I might be able to actually play
it. A baby could
if
win
it's that bad
match in Rome 2. Like it is.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
I just really like Roman history and that stuff. It really.
If you love that, it's actually pretty cool. And
yeah.
I mean, you can play as any of the factions around at that time. Like if you want to play as barbarians, if you want to play as Rome, Carthage, Egypt. If you had pre-ordered, you would have got the Greek factions for free. I don't know why they thought it was okay to remove the Greek factions from the game.
How much do they cost to buy?
Like £3 or something, maybe £8. I can't remember.
£3's not.
If it's £3, that's
£3's okay. If it's £8, that's a bit much.
Might have been up. Yeah, it might have been up at £8. I actually can't remember at this point. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to. I have a friend who I played through the whole of a Shogun campaign with. Like we conquered the whole of Japan together, and we spent 40 hours in that campaign. So I'm looking forward to doing something similar with Rome. But at the time being, his PC is not hacking Rome too well. I mean, it didn't hack Shogun too well anyway, and with the performance issues that Rome has at the moment, it's unlikely that we'll be playing anytime soon, at least not until he gets a better PC. But I'll probably keep, playing bits and pieces of it here and there in between, because it's got a lot of nostalgia for me, being that Rome was the first Total War game that I played originally. And the one I had the most memories of, just sort of, and that campaign map, I just love seeing that sort of map. It's why I got so attached to Crusader Kings so quickly, which was actually the other game I played this week, because it has basically the same portion of Europe and the north of Africa, and then that made up that map. And I was like, I recognize this. This is something I've spent countless hours with before. So yeah, maybe I'll have more to say about Rome in the future. That was what I was actually going to say. When I completed the prologue, the last battle is taking over I can't remember. I wish I knew the name of the faction that you fight. I cannot remember off the top of my head. But anyway, you go in and take their capital effectively, and the last one is they get you to build siege weapons, and it's like a city with walls, and you have to engage it. And the AI was all over the place in that map. Not even just the enemy AI, just the pathing of my actual units as well. And I sent my siege weapons, these giant ladders on wheels that I had, to go set up at the city walls. And then when they got to the city walls, 3 of them just attached fine, and the dudes ran up onto the top of the wall, and it was all great. And then one of the ladders just got stuck. And when I say it got stuck, it went up to the wall, and then the dudes just kept wiggling it left and right for ages, as in for the whole fight. I'm like, I have a unit now that's just completely useless because they're wheeling this thing backwards and forwards, and I couldn't stop them from doing it. So yeah, that kind of made that battle a bit harder, you could say. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about Rome. I'll maybe talk about it in the future when I played a bit more.
Cool.
The other thing I played way more of is Crusader Kings. So I mentioned Crusader Kings 2 last week. That Whittle off the site gifted it me from the most recent indie bundle.
Mhm.
And it's funny. Earlier, I think it must have been earlier this week, like around Monday or something. I sent him a question on Steam, just about something in the game, just like how something works, and his response was just, "I fucking got you," which I think is pretty apt considering I played, I don't know, like well over, like probably nearing 15 hours or something of that this week, which is quite a lot considering how much I'm working at the moment. And yeah, he did get me with that game. That game's really cool, and I know we talked about it briefly last week, but I hadn't really played a lot. But what I started to do was I started a faction as I started as Dublin. So I was the Duke of Dublin, living in Ireland, and I've been sort of grooming my kingdom. I eventually managed to take over the whole of Ireland and become the King of Ireland, conquer the whole of it myself for my children. I don't know if I talked about the kind of way that game works, in that you play. You don't play one character, you play as like a dynasty of characters. Did I mention that last week?
Yeah, it's like a bloodline, isn't it? It's like
Yeah. So
yeah.
when you die, you just take over your heir and just carry on. You just keep on trucking until you have no heir, or your heir has nothing to inherit anymore. And so I'd been building up for ages, and like my first king that I was playing as, well, he was only a petty king. I conquered part of Ireland. He became the petty king of like Tara, which is like the eastern side of Ireland. And he was traveling home one day and then got like murdered by arrows or something. His brother fucking ambushed him and like had a plot against him, and they murdered him. And then my second king, God, what happened to him? I think he just like died of illness or something. But the cool thing about the game is just all the kind of like random events that can happen. And Woodall was telling me a story about one of the games he played where I think he said, I can't remember who it was. It was his doge. He must have been playing around Italy or something. His doge was like around for years and years and years and years and really powerful. And then at some point, I think it said at the age of 75, he became homosexual. Then got possessed, and then started speaking in tongues. And then he said he was so pleased when the guy was poisoned at a feast by some poisoned wine, and died eventually after going absolutely mental, which sounds amazing. That just sounds absolutely crazy and awesome. I think the most fun I've had so far in Crusader Kings was when I'd nearly conquered the whole of Ireland. So I had like all of the counties of Ireland under my control, except for the top two, Ulster and Tyrone. And I was just sort of sitting there and thinking, well, there's only two of them left, and I have all these vassals of mine that I can call on their army if I need to conquer them. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just declare war on both of them at the same go. Same time. What's the worst that can happen? So then I declare war on both of them, and then turns out the county next to them decides that they're going to revolt, and then two counties revolt with them. Then Scotland were like, well, you seem pretty busy, why don't we invade you at this time? And then at that point, Wales were like, fuck it, we might as well get involved as well. And so I had Scotland, Wales, and like 5 counties like at war with me at the same time. And that war went on for, gosh, it must have been like 15 years of my character's life. And eventually I actually managed to win all but one of the wars. I only lost one of the 5 people that I was at war with at the current time, which I thought was pretty damn impressive. And like I conquered Ulster, didn't conquer Tyrone. They beat me. They got their prestige and got their county back. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Like it was constantly super tense. Like I had to at one point just get rid of all my troops because I didn't have enough to win against the Scottish troops that invaded. Just retreat basically back to my capital, let them lay siege to all of my counties, just take all my shit basically. But they didn't do enough damage to me to actually make me surrender. So I eventually just managed to store up enough troops from my levies, from my vassals, to just make a comeback and kick them all out, which is kind of cool. I haven't played that for a few days though, because last time I did, effectively the same thing happened, but it was when I was invading Wales, and then the whole of Wales was just like, fuck you. So I haven't played in a while. But that game's really interesting, and I think it's very much a kind of role-play game. Like, you get very attached to your own little personal story of history, effectively, which is kind of cool. I think in my game, William the Conqueror failed horribly, except he's conquered most of France instead of England, and like the Normans own France, and also York is like the main province in England. There's just basically a giant York kingdom covering half of England, which is really interesting. Seeing, across the whole of England, it just is the word York when you zoom out far enough, and most of France says England. It's really confusing,
Weird.
but kind of cool. Yeah. So if you like strategy games and you like, those kind of things where you create your own story, that game is really interesting. But that's all I played this week. Like, I didn't play much.
Cool. Lots of strategizing. And
yeah, I'm all the way down the strategy rabbit hole at the moment. It's definitely my favorite genre for the time being. I don't actually have a favorite genre, but right now I'm deep in strategy games.
Cool. Joe. Tell us what you've been playing.
What did I play this week? I played quite a bit of Rayman Legends today.
Ooh.
That came out yesterday. I think that was a worldwide release. I don't think that's different anywhere else. But that game is it's fairly straightforward, really. It's pretty much kind of a refinement on Rayman Origins. You start out, as far as I can remember, because I haven't actually played Origins in a while. You start out with all the kind of upgrades that you get in Origins, like you have this like helicopter hair thing, and you can attack and wall run and all that good stuff. But yeah, it is very, very iterative. They haven't really done much different. They have included, I don't know if they're going to be any more of these, but in the first level and in the first kind of world, you have this like flying dude with you that can like assist you in various ways. I'm just playing with a gamepad on PC. And if you press Y, like near certain enemies, like he'll distract them. There's this massive kind of like troll that has this huge shield. And it's impossible to get past him, and like if you tap Y, like your little buddy will like tickle him, and he starts laughing, and then that's how you quote kill him, even though you don't really kill him because this is a kid's game. But and like he'll do stuff like set up platforming stuff. There's certain parts where like there'll be like certain platforms on strings, and you press Y and he'll cut the ropes and lower the platforms to get stuff, and they kind of hide like some of the hidden secret levels like in that way. But yeah, there's really not much to it. I mean, it's still great. It's still an amazing game. It looks absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, it is very, very iterative on Rayman Origins. There's not really, if you loved Rayman Origins, you will love this. If you didn't like Origins, there's not really anything here that's going to change your mind. But yeah, I'm not sure. I forgot to check whether it has online multiplayer because I'd really like to try the co-op stuff. I didn't get a chance to try the co-op in Origins because I didn't know it was local only. So I'll have to check that out, and hopefully we can. I'm not sure if it's is it 4-player Rayman Origins or is it just 2?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if it's up to, if we can play co-op, we'll have to try that out. But yeah, like really, really great. It's there's just not many games like that out anymore, especially kind of like on that scale. And it's really cool. And love me some Rayman.
Yeah, I played the whole of Origins co-op, as I believe I mentioned for that charity live stream I did, and that was really fun. It's a shame they only do local at the moment. So
yeah, I'm not sure if Legends has online. It might do. I can't. Might just be imagining that, but I think it does. But yeah, there's not much to really say about it. I might have like more to say about it when I've finished it. But so far, I think I'm like more or less at the end of the first world. And it is largely, the same. It's, it feels more like just a kind of expansion rather than a new game, but that's not a bad thing because that game is fucking awesome. So, what else did I play? I didn't really play much this week. Went back and played a bit of Tekken Tag 2. Got a bit bored of Tekken Revolution, and I think there's a pretty big patch coming out for that. I'm not really sure what it's going to change. But there was a patch not long ago for Revolution that kind of toned down some of like the player upgrades. Have either of you guys seen that stuff in that game yet? Like the you can like upgrade your health and your damage.
Oh, is that like it's like
the free to play
sort of
one, technically.
gem system thing? It's like,
I haven't
what's that?
played. I think that's what I've heard it compared to. But I haven't really played a lot of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, so I don't know if it's similar. But in Revolution, it is just a straight stat system. You have power, which is damage you deal. You have endurance, which is health, and then you have what's the last thing called? Vigor. That's the last one, and that governs how often you'll get critical attacks. Certain attacks in the game have critical properties, and when you get a critical, when they critical on your opponent, they do more damage, and you get like a cool little explosion visual effect. Like, it looks really cool. But yeah, the last patch really toned that stuff down. I played Kazuya. He's the character I'm sticking to at the moment, because Yoshimitsu isn't out yet. So get on that, Namco. The fuck you playing at? And like before that patch came out, like my B&Bs were doing like maybe 40-50%. After the patch, they do like high 30s, 40%, which is pretty good, because I mean, once you got to like in the like high hundreds of power, like one combo would pretty much do like 70 to 80% health, and it's a bit extreme, having that amount of reward for just punishing one thing. So I'm not really sure what the new patch is going to do, but Tekken Tag 2, it's nice to kind of go back to that and have that stuff removed. Although then you have to put up with, 1,000,000,001 fucking characters. But yeah, I ended up just playing around with the customization stuff more than anything. I've been playing that game for quite a while, and I haven't really bought anything. So I had like 90 million, fight money, whatever they call it, saved up. So yeah, I just spent like a good fucking pretty much all of today almost just making weird characters. I made Kazuya and Heihachi look like Power Rangers. I made a pretty good green and red ranger, which I'm disturbingly proud of. It was pretty cool to play them online. Like, yeah, you just got bodied by fucking Power Rangers. So yeah, that's pretty much. I got strangely addicted to that stuff. I made a really good White Ranger Yoshimitsu, because he's the only character that has a sword, so he's kind of the only one that you could really do, a decent White Ranger with. So yeah, there's that. That's kind of it, really. That game is still, it's still Tekken, really. There's not really much to say about it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I played this week. I didn't really play much. I don't know why. I just didn't really. I ended up watching a lot of Breaking Bad this week. That's kind of how I spent my free time. I didn't really play many games this week, so I'll have to make up for it.
Just reminded me.
Yeah,
I totally watched Wreck-It Ralph this week.
I have no idea what that is. I'm not gonna lie. What is Wreck-It Ralph? I don't know.
It's like a video game Disney film.
Okay.
It has Street Fighter characters in it. It has Bowser. It has Pac-Man Ghost. It has it has loads of like sort of in jokes about video games.
It was like the trailer was like a group sort of therapy session thing with loads of like, I think I had Kano in maybe from MK and loads of other dudes.
I really wish there would be like a huge just multi-game crossover fighting game of shitloads of just fuck licensing, just get them all together.
Well, that's almost like Media, Salty Bet, just
it's true.
Get them all together and just make.
But with a proper campaign and
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the hardest thinking about that, even if that did happen, most crossover games usually have they have a basis in an engine. Like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, uses the Street Fighter engine. Tekken Cross Street Fighter, if that game ever fucking comes out, will be the Tekken engine. So I guess it'd be, would they use an existing one or would they build one from the ground up? It's but yeah, it'd be cool if they did that.
Yeah, that would that's the two major issues is licensing and then just egos of no, well, we want this from our fighting system. I was like, oh
yeah,
no,
it's it'd be cooler if you could just get those teams together, and it's right, just the one rule is that you throw out all of your old shit and you just build something.
Yeah.
No, it would be way better if they just controlled the way that their game controls, relevant to how the other games work.
So 2D characters were just completely fucked against 3D characters.
Yeah, pretty much. That'd be fine. I'm fine with that. I'll play that game.
That would be so weird. Although think just off the top of my head, that would be kind of interesting because if you had like say a Mortal Kombat character versus a Tekken character, once the Tekken character got behind you, you'd be kind of fucked, but you could just hold block. So maybe like that'd be just too weird. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I actually think Tekken versus Mortal Kombat could be interesting. I think you could do some pretty awesome fatalities with Tekken characters, but that'll probably never happen.
Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph then, John?
No. See, I was sort of disappointed because I was gonna see it, and then people were like, "Yeah, it's sort of like video game heavy for the first half, like a lot of references." Then it just turns into a sort of not great Pixar movie.
That is true, but I mean, it has its own plot to deal with in the second half, and there are some very, very like slight things, but not super overt after the first half at all.
Yeah, that's sort of like that's what I want from a movie. It's just something that's referential and doesn't treat it as like video games. Like it's like it's coming from a place of actual like admiration for this stuff as opposed to which like Wreck-It Ralph seemed like it was doing, but like if it then just turns into like a Pixar movie, like I don't know, like if I can be bothered with that.
Yeah, I guess so. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed
it. Okay, so is that it for you, Joe?
Yeah, that is pretty much all I played. I did play a little bit more Saints Row 4, but not enough to really talk about it. And there's just not much to say about that game, really. It's just, it's like, if you like it, if you like Saints Row 3, you'll probably like it. It's pretty
I think I just remembered something that we didn't talk about with regards to Dive Kick.
Oh, yeah?
Did you guys watch the credits?
No.
No.
Okay, go watch the credits until the end.
I think I know what you're talking about because I think someone posted about it in the forums, but
yeah, you probably do.
Is it like a huge thing? Can you just tell me?
No, I'll just tell you then.
It's probably better to see it for yourself, I think.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have the same effect unless you watched it yourself. And also, the credits have loads of outtakes from their videos, and also they're really short, so just watch them.
Ah, cool. Well, that means I'd have to play Dive Kick again.
No, it's in the options.
All right, cool.
You don't actually have to complete the campaign to see it.
I'm still really bummed that like I don't like that game more.
Yeah.
I was really expecting to like just love the shit out of that game, but I just don't.
Yeah, I haven't played any more of it, but I do like it. It's just I don't know. It's not like I don't really turn my PS3 on unless like I'm gonna be sitting down for a while to play a game. It's a weird like just habitual thing, I guess. Like my Xbox is way more just like turn it on to play like a game of FIFA and then turn it off. Whereas for some reason, like I see my PS3 is something where if I'm turning it on, I'm gonna sit down for at least a couple of hours to play. Yeah, like that game's pretty alright, I think, but I just haven't played any more of it. Apparently, you just had a patch as well where Baz got changed.
I don't understand. They said nerfed, but I don't think.
Yeah, I read that, and I think that was just the person sort of overreacting in a way. He's just been like part of it. Like he gets his special beta builds up quicker, but his actual special kick factor thing doesn't last as long.
Yeah.
And like if you get a kill with it, then it just goes off automatically, which I think is pretty fair because that kick factor thing was pretty fucked. Basically made him invincible, which is pretty crazy. Anyway, I guess the only thing I really played that wasn't FIFA was some more Persona 3.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just grinding through that game at the minute. There's not really been any major plot points as far as I can remember. Looks like I'm about to get like a new person in the gang, and some dude got shot, which was pretty crazy.
Like for real shot or
like
shot
for
in the
real
head?
Shot. Not like Persona 3 shot, like actual shot. Like shot in the back as he tried
that really confused me at the beginning of the game. I was like,
yeah, like don't do that. Oh
no,
okay.
Please don't. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that game's good. Just
good.
It takes a while for stuff to happen, I guess, and especially because I'm being pretty anal about doing all the side mission stuff.
Right.
So I'm just I'm spending a lot more time like doing combat and stuff than I probably would if I just like ignored the majority of that stuff. Because I mean, like the combat is just turn-based JRPG stuff. Like it's not really the main attraction. But for some reason I just can't bring like when I see like a quest thing, I could just do that. That'll only take like 20 minutes, and then like another one pops up, and I'm just doing that stuff as opposed to progressing the story at all.
Right.
I think I might just, I don't know. I do find it hard to just like say no, like no, I'm not going to do any more of that stuff now. I'm just going to go on with the story because, but I don't know, it's just a weird completionist thing. But yeah, that game's all right.
Why are you still playing FIFA?
I'm just playing career mode.
When's the new one out? Well, I use the word.
14th of the 14th.
I use the word new fairly,
It's
loosely.
October, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, sure.
It's when that
It's
usually
pretty
comes
much like
out.
day and date with the new consoles or something, nearly.
No, it's
Is it
well,
earlier than that?
yeah. I think it's October that the
Did
game
you?
comes out, and it's like November.
I just remembered some news. They mentioned it on the Bombcast that in Europe, apparently, if you have a Day One edition Xbox One, you get FIFA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually. Now that you mention it.
So that's all. That's all right. That doesn't
Only in
seem like
Europe.
a great thing, like some amazing thing, because like I imagine like a lot of stores will just be doing bundles that very closely resemble that. Like,
Yeah, but they'll be more expensive, won't they? Because
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
the
Suppose.
thing is, that's only on the Day One edition, which is sold out. So
Right.
how is that going to persuade anyone to buy, unless they're just hoping people are stupid enough to buy that and think they'll get it
Yeah.
anyway? I
Unless
don't
they're like they're
understand.
going to do another run of them.
If
something
that
like-
came with every Xbox One sold within the first month or something, then sure, yeah,
Yeah.
that might persuade the kind of people who want FIFA and a new console to go out and get it in Europe. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Also, FIFA new console probably not going to be that different.
yeah. They always like are weird with like the first next gen version of the game or the first couple.
Yeah,
Like, they're always like reduced in some way,
yeah,
which I hope doesn't happen, but I can see it happening.
my first game on the 360 was FIFA 06 Road to the FIFA World Cup,
Yeah,
which was broken.
I remember like FIFA 07 being pretty terrible. Like it was like impossible to score, and it's not like the game was too hard. It was like it was like you had to pretty much run the ball into the goal to score because the keepers were just like unbelievable, and it had about 5 leagues, which FIFA's known for its ridiculous amount of leagues. It was
FIFA 06 Road to the FIFA World Cup had like 20 teams because it was just international teams, and on top of that, the only way to score was by doing lobbed through balls, but it guaranteed that you would score every single time you did it because the defense was full on retard mode.
yeah.
And also, I played as Holland, and one of the players' hair glitched inside his head constantly.
I wonder why they struggle so much to go from. I suppose.
I suppose if you're changing like architecture or whatever, and you're trying to port the exact same engine because you have so much work that you've
Yeah,
already
yeah.
invested, you
Yeah.
don't want to start from scratch. Like it's bound to go wrong.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I mean, they've talked a lot about like the next gen crop of EA games having this Ignite engine. Like I think the EA UFC game as well, and obviously Madden. So
You have to
maybe
imagine
they're
the
actually
code
putting,
base.
a concerted effort into these games not being trashed for like the first year and a bit.
True. The code base for like the games that they've already made must be so big because they share so much tech. So
Yeah.
it must be like a giant, colossal thing. And I don't know how easy that will translate to the new. Then again, with the new architecture being more like PCs, maybe it won't be so bad.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean,
They still make
I don't know if
PC
that's gonna
versions
be
of
like a-
FIFA, so
yeah, I don't know if that's going to be like one of my first like game purchases if I get a next gen console like FIFA. I don't know.
Is there any word on like launch lineups yet?
yeah, there's an Xbox One on somewhere. I saw one literally today.
I'll have
What was
to
it?
have a look, see if I can
Might
find
even
any.
be on Giant Bomb.
Yeah, I'm sure they've both posted lists, or there are lists posted by other.
Might be worth running down those just quickly if someone finds one.
Yeah.
Is Killer Instinct launch for Xbox One?
I think so.
Because they're making a pretty big deal about that.
I feel like it is. Maybe I saw it on Games.
I think IGN has lists of launch titles. God, let's see. Okay, so day one on the PS4 is Assassin's Creed 4, Battlefield 4, the new Black
I mean,
Ops.
I'm more like exclusive to next
exclusives.
gen though, because sorry to all those, they don't count
Yeah,
because they're coming out on everything else as well.
Drive Club. That's day one.
Oh, I forgot they get Dead Rising 3. God damn it, I forgot
Wait,
that existed.
is Drive Club actually day one, or is that just the PSN edition?
Says day one according to.
Because they said about that Drive Club, what is it, PlayStation Plus edition, which seems to be like some possibly not full version of the game. And then I swear they said something about Drive Club actually launching late, like next year. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. The new Killzone game is apparently day one. Knack.
Wasn't that? Oh, what's that called again? I get that confused with the Vita one.
Shadowfall.
Oh yeah. Killzone.
Resogun.
Is that the circly, spinny, shooty gun game from the people who make the other circly, shooty, spinny gun game?
The God, what the hell's that game called? Super Stardust HD, guys.
That's the one. Circly, spinny.
There's a game called Super Motherload.
Okay, that's a weird name.
Tiny Brains.
Okay.
War Thunder.
All these
What
hyped
War
up
Thunder's
killers.
coming out? Okay.
Infamous isn't
I
launched.
don't think
Dogs.
War Thunder will play very well on a controller, personally.
No, Infamous isn't launched according to this.
I'm looking at the Xbox One.
Infamous is launch window, but not launched like day one.
Okay. There's
So
not.
that launch window goes from day one till the end of March 2014. So that's a pretty big window.
March, my ass.
Launch window should be considered like a month, really.
Yeah.
Like, that's a bit much. but-
Not 6.
Yes, our launch window is 6 months.
Well, I don't know. Considering the length of the life of the console, maybe you can give that to them.
I guess, but
Anyway, what's the Xbox lineup like?
I am about to find
I've got a
out.
list here.
I thought Joe was on it.
Ready.
Oh,
So-
Joe, you do that. Yeah.
It's
go for it.
killers. I'm going to just list ones that, as far as I know, are Xbox One, only. So Assassin's Creed 4, you don't count.
Nope.
Crimson Dragon, I don't think that is coming out on.
What the hell is
Yeah, I
that?
think
No,
that's
I have no
that was
idea
at
what that is.
That was at E3.
Yeah.
That was when the audio went out. I think
Alright.
during their press conference, but yeah.
Dead Rising 3, which
Yeah.
I actually would like to see some of
That's gone back to being an exclusive, which is weird.
Yeah, I doubt it'll stay it. I imagine that'll probably.
Yeah. Well, it was like Dead Rising. The original was an exclusive.
Yeah,
Then Dead
2
Rising 2 was
was
multi-platform. Then
And then
did Dead Rising 2 come out on PC as well?
I think it did, because I think the PC version was the only version that was actually, half decent, because the optimization for Dead Rising 2 was fucking terrible. Like the load times, the fucking frame, it was absolute garbage. Like that's pretty much why they released what's it called, Off the Record. It was a patch that was like, hey, if we put Frank West in it, we can call it a new game.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is like, A, the game shouldn't have been this fucking broken at the start, and B, you really shouldn't have put this out as a game. Like, this should have been a fucking patch. But anyway, back to the list. Fighter Within, that doesn't ring a bell.
I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Killer Instinct is launch, so that could be cool. I would like to play that, but I've never really been a huge Killer Instinct fan, so...
Forza 5 as well.
Is Forza 5 exclusive, or is that...
Yep.
That's cool.
That's
Forza's always
published by Microsoft. So.
No, I mean, like, that's not coming out on 360. That's Xbox One exclusive.
I assume not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it isn't, because it's Drivatars.
Yes, Drivatars.
So, yeah.
There's no way the 360 can do Drivatars.
Need for Speed Rivals is... exclusive as far as I know.
Okay.
Is
That's the one being made by Not Criterion,
It says here Ghost Criterion, so
which is a team put together.
don't get that. But yeah. There's a load of sports games, which I imagine are going to be multi-platform, so they don't count. Peggle 2,
Yeah.
because
Alright.
Get fucking hype, bitches.
Didn't they ruin like Plants vs Zombies 2 though?
You know, Master
by putting
Chief.
like mad.
Hang up your helmet. Power Star Golf. Get hype.
Zoe mode.
Rise, Son of Rome.
Oh yeah, that really shit one.
Get hype.
Yeah.
Skylanders Swap Force.
All right, I'm in.
That's PS4.
Watch
as well.
Dogs
now
is
400.
launched, but that is not exclusive. Zoo Tycoon.
Is that from the Tycoon people, like the roller coaster
Frontier
Tycoon?
Developments. I don't actually know who makes the
See, that's such a weird launch title, Zoo
Yeah.
Tycoon.
and ready contain your fucking hard-ons Zumba Fitness World Party.
Zoe mode at it again.
Bing.
Double fist
So
on
in
launch
short,
day.
the Xbox One lineup is kind of shit. I think is what we can take.
Kind of. That's outrageously.
I mean, if you don't count like, which I mean, this might be petty, but like I really don't count like, you know, this gen games that are just coming out on it. You know, like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty.
I don't know. I think
Like, I mean, because they are coming, you know, they'll be out on the 360 and the PS3 and the PC.
that is true. But if you look back at like last console launch, were there really games like Battlefield 4, Call of Duty, Ghost, like these big blockbuster established games coming out that, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be the same game with slightly better graphics,
Yeah.
but still.
That's true.
Same game
I
with
think
better
there was
graphics,
there
still
was
a bloody
big
good
stuff
game.
that came out on
There
both.
was some pretty big stuff.
like
yeah,
Call
I
of
mean,
Duty
like,
2
Call of
came
Duty
out.
2, yeah.
both.
yeah, Call of Duty 2 was like with
That
this
wasn't on
gen, like
launch
pretty
day,
much.
was it? Or was it? I can't remember now.
I can't remember, to be honest.
I think it might be both, but not maybe launch day.
But yeah, like all the sports games and shit, and but I mean, but I'm not a real big fan of that. Like, I don't think like, you know, you don't buy a next gen console like, oh, I'm going to buy the PS4 to play Call of Duty Ghosts. Like, you could play Call of Duty Ghosts on PS3.
If you're going by that logic, why are they doing a $10 upgrade from the Xbox version?
Yeah, I think there are people who will like
There are totally people who will
the
buy
one
a
play
new
the best.
Oh yeah, I
version
mean,
of Duty.
Duty.
yeah, like there are people out there that would.
Who in their right mind would do that?
You know, the people are free to do what they will. But
Yeah.
yeah, like the launch lineup is pretty. I mean, if you're like really, really into Killer Instinct, which, you know, if you're like an old school Killer Instinct fan, you probably are. That's probably pretty big for you. I mean, I really would like to play Dead Rising 3, but like, I'm not gonna, you know, put down like 400 quid to play it. So yeah, and the PS4 not really got anything that I'm, you know, chomping at the bit to play. Well, it has, but it's not launch. So
yeah, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm looking forward to the console launch to buy Watch Dogs on PC and then Titanfall and The Division next year.
yeah. That being said, I probably will buy a PS4 day one because I'll have the money.
Stupid.
It's stupid. Yeah. 'Cause I want it. I want something shiny and new.
Yeah,
I
perfectly.
will wait for my shiny and new.
I can get it out the box and be like, yeah, this thing's awesome, and then immediately go back to play my PC and be like, yeah, this is actually way better.
This is better.
Shit, I just wasted money. God damn it. They got me again, motherfuckers.
Fuck
How long do you
Sony.
think you'll wait, Brad? Like until something comes out that you desperately need to play, or
I haven't bought an Xbox game in a year if you don't count rebuying FIFA Street because I broke the disc.
That still
So-
counts. Well, unless you bought it pre-owned, then I guess it doesn't.
I bought it pre-owned.
Okay, that doesn't
So-
count.
I don't know. I feel like I can wait a while, but I also feel like I might have the money, so I might do something stupid.
That's
haven't
my
decided
biggest
yet.
problem. Yeah, I mean, like fucking 8 years ago, I didn't have the money to get one launch. Like, it wasn't a question of, oh, am I going to get one? It's like, well, no, because I'm not going to have the money. So now it's like, yeah, I've got the money. I've got really nothing else to buy at that point, so I'm probably going to get one.
yeah.
I'm
when
not
they-
even
when they-
ruling out the Xbox either. Like, if I like go past an Xbox One and it's like Dead Rising 3 and I'm in a zombie mood, like, I could be dumb enough to buy
I'm
that.
in a to
Yeah.
zombie your way into the store. Walk out
If I'm just in the mood.
your zombie
I,
game.
I actually played some Dead Rising 2 earlier today because I was just in the mood to kill zombies.
Are you DTZ?
I don't know what that means.
Down to, down to zombie.
I love me some zombies. That's pretty much it. I love me some zombies. So
You're
yeah,
a simple man. Man of
zombies are cool.
not many
Like zombies are just cool, and that's all there is to it.
All right, I'll take your word for that one.
But yeah,
What I'll probably do is I'll wait until the 800 series of Nvidia cards is announced, and then decide whether I'm upgrading my PC in the near future, or I can
Yeah.
afford to buy the console and upgrade it later.
yeah. Hopefully, I won't need to upgrade my PC for quite a while because mine is, virtually brand new.
Yeah,
So,
I mean mine will be going on 3.5 years old by next summer, so I kind of want to upgrade by the end of next, by the next July or something.
ideally, I'd really like to be able to wait until like the new revision comes out of the consoles. Like, I'd really like to have, the slim PS4 be my first PS4, and
Yeah,
the slim.
You know what? I'd that's actually a good idea. I might just do that because I've never bought a re-release of anything. Like I bought the original DS. I never bought another DS. I bought the original 360, and I never bought another 360 except when my 360 broke.
Yeah, I'm the same, except I've just had really shitty luck, and they all break. I had an original PS2 that broke, so I got slim. I've had like fucking 8 360s. 2 of which are in working order though, because I bought the Halo 4 one because I really wanted it. The Halo 4 360 it has blue lights on the controller.
And it makes noises when you turn it on.
And it makes like Halo noises when you turn it on. Although I don't really turn it on that much anymore because it's my 360. So fuck, I wasted money again.
God, they got you again.
They got me again. Yeah, my fat, George Foreman PS3 broke, so I got slim.
I want a PS4 Slim.
Although I did get a launch PSP, and that is still trucking. So
I have a launch PSP. Never bought another one.
And the PSP is great. So. But yeah, I'd really like to wait and get, because I mean they are so much better. Like if your first PS3 was like a 250 gig slim, like.
Yeah, I want the 1 terabyte PS4 that's the size of a hamster.
Yeah, that's what I want too. I want that.
That'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be awesome if like, the next
Hmm.
revisions were a terabyte. Like that was like their main things. It was like, yo.
I'm not even joking. I think that might actually be it.
I think it could be by then. I mean, you think if they come out this year, those new revisions are probably at least 2 years away. So, or maybe 18 months. 18 months, 2 years. Who knows?
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Like they could very easily.
Maybe then there'll be games out.
Maybe
that aren't on PC.
Yeah. That's my like weirdest like confliction, I guess, going into new consoles. Like pretty much everything that I think of buying, like when I got Rayman Legends, I was looking on Amazon, I was like, oh yeah, PS3. I was like, wait, PC, get on PC because my PC is better. And it was like 10 quid cheaper on PC. It was 19 quid on Amazon. So I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, but I do still want to play, the console exclusives that, will undoubtedly be pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I hope so.
Yeah.
We went off track a bit there.
We did. Were we talking about Xbox One? Something? News?
No, I started.
No, we
the news
went on
train
news.
a bit
Yeah.
early,
We went on news yet, were we?
You haven't even done your games yet, have you?
I Persona. That was it.
Oh, that
Persona
was
3.
it. Okay, you
Uh,
were midway
pretty much.
through. I know that.
I was gonna buy Ni no Kuni, the
Oh yeah. You want the
game,
version with the big fucking book?
yes,
BFB.
because that came out this year, and I sort of feel like I should play a couple more games from this year. But I don't know. I'm on the edge of whether I should buy it or not, because I currently have like 3 JRPGs that I've bought and been like, yeah, I'll get into this for some reason, and then just like not played enough of, like Persona 3 being one of those. Like I'm technically only like a fifth the way through that game, and I've had it for going on probably 6 months or something. So yeah, maybe I'll hold off on that one till I've at least completed one of those JRPGs. Yeah, so I guess news that there isn't that much, but the Xbox One got a release date, which I don't actually know. Is it 22nd?
22nd of November.
Which is a well, not a worldwide release, but it's that's for North America and the UK, and
At least.
yes,
Which is interesting because that falls after the PS4 in America, which is arguably their stronger territory, and before the PS4 in Europe, which is arguably their weaker territory.
yeah, which
What do you guys think would be
interesting decision.
what do you guys think like availability will be like? I was listening to Have you guys seen those like highlights of the hotspot that like they get posted every now and then, like the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to some of them this past week, and it's interesting to like hear them like how fucked up the launches were for like the Wii 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
How like at launch, like Toys R Us and that got like 8. Like they literally got like 8 PS3s and that was it. That's all they got for launch. I really hope that doesn't happen again.
I can't tell if the fact that Xbox have cancelled releasing in a lot of countries is a good thing
or
or
they have, haven't they?
a really, really bad thing.
I take that as pretty bad. That can't be good. I mean,
well, it might mean that they actually have the right amount of stock for the regions they are deciding to release in. Maybe,
yeah.
On the optimistic side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I assume they've like prioritized like the UK and North America as being like the two biggest
I just really hope
markets, because like Japan is pretty much a wash, and like
I mean the PlayStation is pretty big in Japan, so that wouldn't be that big a deal. But I just really hope that.
But
I just really hope they're not. They're not that fucked again. Like I was on those podcasts, like hearing stories of like how people would just like sell like a PS3 on eBay that would go for like $6,000.
Yeah,
because they were just that hard to get.
Those stories from launch. That's sort of one of the things I'm sort of excited about. Like with the launch is just like, I don't know, just reaction to that stuff and like all the weird stories of like, oh, I bought a PS4 and then like 3 guys like mugged me to get my PS4 and then sold it on eBay for like $2,000 or something. It's like, and there's some guy who one of my favorite guys who he because they used to have like a phone in thing where you'd leave like a voice message and they'd listen to it and then mock you usually.
They were so good.
And there's a guy who like he bought like 8 PS3s I think and like sold them on eBay to make enough money to like cover the cost of the one PS3 that he's keeping for himself, which I thought was pretty enterprising.
Yeah,
pretty funny.
I think I hope that kind of shit doesn't happen again though. It's they should be able to. I mean, I can't remember.
They should know.
I can't really remember that much about like the PS2 launch because when that came out, like that was me and my brother got that for Christmas. So for all I know, like my mum and dad killed like 5 people to get that PS2, but if they did, they never told me. But yeah, I don't remember the PS2 being that,
Yeah. I think
games granted weren't as big then, but still.
Yeah, I think games blew up in a way like between the PS2 and the 360 and the PS3 coming out, and they've blew up like even more since then. But like,
hopefully now
they have to know.
For it.
Like, they'll probably have looked at like the viewing figures for like the E3 press conference and the weird Sony conference that they did in February, and like seen like, this is just a fraction of the amount of people that are going to be trying to buy this thing at launch. Like, we've got to at least satisfy, a decent majority of these people, if not all of them.
Maybe that's how I'll persuade myself to buy a PS4. I'll just sell it if it's worth more.
Try and sell it for double what you buy it for, and then just go and buy another one.
If it doesn't go for double on eBay than what I buy it for, then I'll keep it. That's the way that's going to work.
Yeah. Do you guys know anyone that's thinking about like midnight launches or any of that kind of bullshit?
No, I don't think anyone's.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe I'll hear closer to the day if people are like, oh, you're going to the midnight launch?
I'm way too paranoid to go to a midnight launch for a console. I'd be way too paranoid about like getting mugged.
Yeah, unless I was about like jumping a car as soon as I left the store.
Oh yeah, like, I mean when I got my Halo 4 360 from Blockbuster, and I just went down like first thing in the morning when they opened the following day and was like, yo, give me my Xbox, thanks, bye, and then just walked out of it. And my Blockbuster is in a pretty shady area of town, so I didn't really feel like going home with that.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah, it's probably either going to be a launch thing or a wait until Christmas thing for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got nobody in my life that would buy me a PS4 for Christmas, so except myself.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents might not buy it outright, but they would at least stump up some of the money.
I could buy myself a PS4 for Christmas.
Yeah.
Do it.
Merry Christmas, me, from me. Here's PS4.
Yay.
Just what I always didn't want.
Yeah. Thanks, me. I've got a PC. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop wasting my money, me.
Yeah,
Damn it.
you dumbass.
Yeah. Thinking about it more, actually, maybe not a launch day thing, just in case there's some sort of catastrophic, like,
All the PS4s do catch fire.
like people get it and it's like, oh, I turned it
It'll-
on and then I died because it
Blew up
was
my
give-
house.
filled with
It-
anthrax.
It
or
will give
whatever.
you cholera.
Yeah.
Oh man, can you imagine like thinking
Don't put
about
it
it
in your
like
water supply.
thinking about like the 360? Can you imagine like say you're one of the people that like queued up for like 2 days or something to get a 360 at launch. You get it back, right? You get it back to your house. And then like the next day it red rings. Can you imagine how fucking pissed you'd be?
Yeah.
Oh man.
What is this shit? Why
Yeah,
is
you
it
probably,
red?
you probably wouldn't even know what it is. You just like,
Yeah,
oh,
because I mean like at that time,
this
you know.
is sick. It's changed color.
Oh man, mine's got. Hey, wait, it doesn't actually turn on. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's an error message. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, I think my 360 red ring, my first one. I think I had it about a year and a half, and it red ringed, and I was pretty annoyed. I remember the first, like, it was really weird. The first time it red ringed, I saw it and like panicked and just like yanked the power brick out straight away and was like, fuck. And that actually it like worked for like another month after that, and then it red ringed again.
Yeah.
and
I
then
remember
died.
I used to get really scared. Like after I had my first red ring and had one sent back and then came back again, I used to get really scared because when I got it back after that, it started overheating. And so also it tripped a red ring by a power cut once. So I turned it on and it was red ringing and I was like, holy shit. And I turned it off and on again and it was absolutely fine because it was the power cut tripped it out. But then it would come up with the 2 lights for the overheat and I would just, kill it. Like as soon as I saw that, I was like, shit. I need to leave it for like a day and come back and maybe it'll be okay.
It's
Then
fun.
it didn't last much longer than that.
That stuff was fun. And then it got to a point like where I was just kind of expecting it every time I turned the fucking thing on. I think I had 3 that were replaced by Microsoft, like for free. And then I had 4 more, and then I just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy the Halo 4 Xbox because I've been needing an excuse to get a new 360. So, and that was the perfect excuse. I still have that working core though. That still does work.
Mine's not a core, but it's an arcade edition.
It's still the ugliest. That is still the ugliest console ever.
I like it.
The original 360 is
I like it.
turd.
I like it.
The original Xbox is pretty ugly as well.
The original Xbox looks fucking badass. That thing can like kill somebody.
Nah, I think the original Xbox 360 looks cool.
You're wrong. It looks like
It has
shit.
Chrome on the hard drive.
No,
pretty sure...
the core doesn't. That's what I mean. The core just has the white disc. Yeah, the Chrome disk drive is pretty slick. I do like.
No. I don't have the Chrome disk drive. I have the white disk drive, which I actually prefer because I think the Chrome disk drive looks like shit.
Oh,
you
man.
know the hard drive had Chrome around the outside.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could get one of those which had plastic around the outside, like the grey plastic that's on top where the Chrome was on the hard drive.
Yeah, you can.
That looks like shit.
That looks like garbage. Actually, when you think about it, most consoles look kind of silly, really. I mean, like the launch PS3 is a George Foreman grill.
The PS3 Slim looks nice.
The PS3
not
Slim,
the new one, not
kinda...
the one with the pop cap, the stupid gritty bullshit.
the spin thing.
Yeah, the original Slim.
Oh, don't get Joe talking about spindles.
Spindles are amazing.
Jesus.
The spindle one looks shit, apart from the fact it has a spindle.
Yeah, I agree. The spindle one looks like shite.
It's like.
But it has a spindle, therefore it's the best. Therefore, the PlayStation 3 won this generation because it's the only console this gen to have a spindle in it. So,
just the new Xbox. No, it's got a capacitive. No, it doesn't. It's got a clicky button.
Capacitive
new
buttons
Xbox.
need to die.
yeah, and
They're terrible.
Yeah, but all the new consoles have.
yeah, they do. And what I'm trying. The original PS2 looked okay. Now that I think about it, that looked kind of cool. That kind of looked like a tower. It looked like a building. But
That's sort of the design they've went with, like with the PS4, sort of.
Yeah, I think the PS4 looks pretty damn slick, I must say. I also think the Xbox One looks pretty
I had this discussion with someone recently. I've forgotten what the PS4 looks like. And every time I think of it, I just think of the PS3 Slim, and I actually can't remember what it was.
It's kind of hard to describe, but I think it does look pretty cool.
It's so nondescript that I can't remember it. I genuinely couldn't bring it
But
to mind
it's-
if
the
someone
slanted.
The best looking console ever is still the black GameCube. That thing is.
that thing was pretty dope.
That thing
thing
is
was
fucking
pretty cool.
amazing. Black GameCubes are the shit. They have a fucking handle on them.
The American SNES looks like shit.
Oh man. Remember the PS1, like the slim, like the PS1.
I mean, oh yeah, I have one of those.
I
That's-
haven't had
that
one.
looks like a CD player.
Yeah,
It looks like a portable
they
CD.
look really. They look really weird though. They look like a PS1 that's gone on like some crash diet and has like flabby skin.
They're quite impressively small, though.
Oh yeah, they are. Same. The slim
And-
PS2, I think, wins that.
They have a spindle.
That is true. The slim PS2 has a spindle though.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like it's a PS2 and it's like the size of a fucking DVD. Like what DVD?
an actual DVD.
It's just the size of a disc.
That'd be amazing.
But did you know? I don't know if this is actually true, but did you know apparently you can just take off like the frame of a GameCube and just put a regular DVD on it and it will play. Apparently,
Why wouldn't it?
because like they have like the mini optical discs, don't they? But it's not actually proprietary. It's just a form factor.
But, I mean, it's just a spindle. You can probably leave the lid open and it'll play, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know if it works, but I'm not sure if you could actually use that to play DVDs or something. I'd imagine you need like a modded GameCube anyway, because GameCubes didn't play anything.
Oh wait, oh yeah, I just realised.
Yeah,
what
like
you
just
said.
a regular DVD disc. I mean,
What, the whole thing?
yeah, you can just take the frame off, and then
Wait,
like there's nothing surrounding the the spindle, so you can just
So
put.
the actual the laser can go out that far, even though
Fuck knows, man. I don't know.
I doubt it could reach the outer edges of a DVD, surely. Unless they
I don't
trapped
know
it
that
and it actually expands. It was just a normal DVD reader, but it just.
It might be. I mean, who knows? But yeah, apparently that YouTube it. I bet there's probably a video of that somewhere.
I'm sure those discs were called something stupid as well. They were called like GC
UMDs.
DVDs or
I think they
something.
were called like. Wasn't there like optical something? GameCube discs are the best ever though. I fucking love GameCube discs. It was so cool.
I never understood why they had to be so.
I think
small.
it was. I think it was just a simple piracy thing. It was like, yo, these discs are more expensive and harder to get, so they'll be harder to pirate. But they weren't. So, but yeah, I
These
really
are the future media.
GameCube.
UMDs are almost as dumb as floppy disks.
UMDs aren't really a disc though. They're a case because all they
They're
are
a
is like
cassette
one of those.
disc.
Yeah, like all they are is one of those like mini DVDs in a special case.
No, they're smaller than that.
Are they? I thought they were the same size.
And they're universal. No, they're slightly smaller.
No, I don't know, but yeah. Blu-ray though. I mean, Blu-ray is like the shit, yo. Blu-ray is all
Blu-ray's blue.
all up in this bitch.
You know
The
what?
bottom
Fuck
of
everything.
disc.
I want black DVDs back.
Oh, the PS1 games were. I mean, they were CDs.
Oh, they were CDs. But
Yeah,
didn't they
they
have
were
black
black.
PS2 games as well?
I don't
thought,
think so. Did they?
Alright,
I
fine.
had
fuck it.
shiny blue ones. But
Let's go
not-
back to CDs.
And you know when you put
I want
a
black discs.
you know when you put a PS1 disc in a PS2 and you're like, you know, like the PS2's equivalent of like a dashboard where you just like go into browser.
Hmm.
If you put a PS1 game in it, it would actually come up as like a black disc, and if you put a PS2 game in it, it would come up as a gold disc.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah, the days
Was it,
of
was it on this podcast we talked about the fact that the PS2 dashboard evolved as you played more games or something?
Yeah.
no, it was the boot
Yeah.
screen. It had
Yeah.
you know when it booted up and you had all those blocks.
The towers.
That was like how full I think the memory card in slot 1 was determined how many blocks you got when you boot it up,
That's pretty crazy.
which is pretty cool.
Um,
Man, the
Okay.
PS2 was so cool. That was
Yeah.
a great console.
I never owned a PS2.
You are fired. Immediately. Like retroactively, I'm gonna go back and like
edit that out of every podcast. Yeah.
Just a hissing noise every
Yeah.
time I speak.
Yeah. So the Xbox
You
is
need
coming out.
you need to go and buy a PS2 like right now just to have one. I bet you can find one for like £1 on eBay or something.
Probably. I don't know what I'd do with it. Play DVDs.
You just need it for like fucking history. You need it
There's
for
like
historical
a
purposes.
million of those things. They
There's
only
like-
stopped making them a year ago or something.
Yeah, there's a lot more than 1 million. There's like 170 million or something they sold.
Yeah.
So it was a hell of a lot.
Sure. That's like
PS2
more,
was
that's like more than Xbox 360 and PS3 combined.
Yeah, it is. I think the only console that's even close to it is the DS. Is like the regular DS. Like, and that's all iterations combined, and even that like isn't more than the PS2. The PS2 was fucking ridiculous. Every fucker had a PS2.
Okay.
Do we have any more news?
Yeah,
the PS2 is awesome. That's news. I don't know if we like that.
Let's move away from off-topic central.
Yes. So yeah, off topic again, but yeah, the Xbox One is coming out on 22nd of November, at least in North
Worldwide!
America and the UK.
Worldwide.
If you live in
USA
countries that
UK,
aren't those countries, it sort of sucks. But yeah.
PlayStation 2 has sold 155 million as of the 31st of March 2012. So that's like a year and change.
Imagine if you stack those all end on end. Where would it go?
You know, that's well, I mean, how long is a PS2?
How long is a piece of string?
No, I mean, like literally, how long is a PS2? It's like about a foot, isn't it?
It's like 30 centimeters.
Yes, I mean, like for argument's sake, I'd say probably 60% of them are probably slims, so a little bit shorter.
They're more or less the same length.
Oh, they're not. They are. The slim is like literally just longer than a DVD case. The launch PS2.
Slim is pretty small.
I thought it was the same length, just thinner.
Oh no,
No,
the slim PS2 is tiny.
Slim's probably at least half as big as.
There's a pretty good comparison shot here. That the slim is an educated guess, probably about 25% shorter than the launch PS2. I had some like really fucking like grabby jeans when I was a teenager, and like I could almost fit a slim PS2 in the back pocket of those jeans. They were
useful,
extremely useful jeans for taking games to a friend's house,
though. Okay, so yeah, there's that. PS2. The PS2 is being released.
PS2 is being re-released.
Yeah.
Like,
PS2 HD. Yeah, there's a bit of blah blah blah. What's the word? Game designer conflict. Over Metal Gear. So David Ellis, who is,
I actually have no idea who that is.
He's not the lead on Halo 4, but he works at 343, and he's pretty high up there as far as I know. Yes, basically complained about Quiet, which is one of the characters shown off in the Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer. Basically saying that her design was sort of disgusting and childish and sort of sexist.
Even though I don't really care about this, like, you know, with the Halo 4 Cortana, isn't this kind of a bit on the nose?
Yeah, it's pretty funny because
Halo 4 Cortana has like fucking ridiculous hips, huge tits, and like
yeah.
I mean, I still think that was kind of blown out of proportion a little bit. It's like, who gives a fuck? It's a character redesign, but yeah, this is a little bit, pot calling the kettle black kind of. Well, it's and the characters. I mean, it's a it's a video game character wearing revealing clothing. Oh my god, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. I mean, the character itself is pretty ridiculous, but I think a lot of people are forgetting that this is, Hideo Kojima.
And he can do what the fuck he wants.
That guy's sort of crazy. That guy's basically like the Quentin Tarantino of games, in a way. He just...
That's kind of... Yeah, that's a pretty good way of...
He doesn't really give a fuck about other people's opinions, and he's also just crazy. And he puts... I feel like both those guys, for better or worse, put like pretty much everything that they are into their games or their art,
and they make
whatever you want to call it.
Like they make what they want to make. Like Quentin Tarantino makes the films he wants to make. Hideo Kojima very much makes the games he wants to make, and he just doesn't give a shit.
And like Metal Gear Solid has never been a series about realism, I guess. I mean, it has in some ways. Like, there's a lot of military stuff that Kojima gets like super specific and anal about, but like in terms of the overarching like stories and plots, that it's pretty much all nonsense. And this is coming from someone who's a massive fan of those games.
I mean, I love Metal Gear. It is batshit bonkers.
Yeah, the and a character that wears a bra and has weird fishnet stockings.
It's not really a bra. It's more like really strategically placed cloth.
Yeah, I guess.
It doesn't really qualify as a bra. A bra has like straps and a fastening on it. This is just, cloth covering her nipples. It's kind of
basically.
That's kind of all it is, really.
And so David Ellis, said the character design is disgusting and the industry is full of man babies.
Yeah. I honestly feel that like these kind of like I feel like we should be past this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like I really do. Like it's because it just comes across as like really like honestly in a lot of ways like it just comes across as like quite immature. It's like these people like just like talking smack over Twitter or something like it's like just shut up.
Yeah. God, what was that PlayStation Vita game? What the fuck was it called? Soul Sacrifice?
Yeah.
With the character that was just had the most ridiculous proportions of any female character in any game ever.
Oh wait, what?
I
don't remember.
I believe
that
it was
being
Soul
in
Sacrifice.
Soul Sacrifice was the one that was like Monster Hunter, but with not like Monster
Oh,
Hunter.
God, okay, not Soul. God, that
Wasn't it? Or am I
no,
thinking
it wasn't. Soul Sacrifice isn't the one I'm thinking of. Soul Sacrifice is the thing that you just said it is.
Oh right, okay.
God, it was a PlayStation Vita game, came out like this year, and like quite like within like the last month or so. And it basically had a character like I think she's a sorceress or something. Which
Are you talking about the game with the woman with the giant thighs and then the other woman with the boobs that like aren't even in her top?
Yes, and her idle animation was just her jiggling.
Her jiggling everything. Ian, the leg lady was terrifying. Jesus
God,
Christ.
what the hell is
You know what's kind of weird, right? And describing that character just made me think. John, you played the Xbox Ninja Gaiden, right?
Nope.
No, didn't you? I thought you did play it.
Nope.
Oh, I thought that's what you did. Brad, you haven't played it either, right?
Which one?
The Xbox Ninja Gaiden, like the 2004 one.
No.
The remake. You never played it.
Nope.
Have you ever seen the Rachel character that's in that game?
Nope.
Okay.
I may have, but
I'm gonna quickly send you a picture if I can find it.
I'm just gonna search it.
Yeah, just search it. I mean, she's pretty blatant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how like, I mean, even like look at Dead or Alive, like quite a few fighting games really. It's funny how like when those games do it, nobody bats an eye. Like nobody gives a fuck. Like,
yeah.
I mean, when that came out, it was it was one of those jokes that lasted like 2 minutes. It was like, oh, Ninja Gaiden, man, Rachel, whatever, immature jokes, and then like nobody gave a shit. Whereas now it seems like there's such a microscope over that sort of stuff. So if you do it this way, oh, you're a insert name here or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like some games, just it really doesn't seem to make it.
The name of the game was Dragon's Crown.
Dragon's Crown, God, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look her up because
Dragon's Crown almost looked like it was an interesting game, but the art style actually made me actively refuse to even play interest in it.
It's pretty dumb. I mean, to what you're saying, Joe, I agree. Like there are like if people sort of give certain games a pass, and I think also part of the issue is people are very up on the whole like feminism thing. Like,
oh yeah, I mean it's definitely a bigger thing than it was. I mean like it's
sexism, like which like is totally like a legitimate issue and should be mentioned when it's appropriate. But I don't think this is that sort of thing. Which to be fair, David Ellis is not he didn't say this is sexist, but he
Yeah, but I think the word disgusting is it's like really like is a woman like in however you want to phrase it, but just to remain objective, a woman in revealing clothing, does that really warrant the word disgusting? Like or like really like do you look at like the cover of like a sports magazine that has a woman in like a sports bra on it, like that's not the same. Like it's just really I don't know. I guess it's just a really poor choice of words, in my opinion. Like, I think, ironically enough, like him saying that's disgusting is actually more sexist. It's like, why? Like, why is it disgusting? I just think it's a really, really poor choice of words.
And I was like, Kojima's since came out on Twitter and tried to defend it. One instance maybe didn't do himself any favors because he tried to like. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the time he's speaking through a translator, and like he said
he doesn't actually speak English, does he?
I mean, he talks on Twitter, and I'm fairly sure that's all him. Like, it's not some PR person doing his Twitter because it's still sort of like he can tell it's someone who doesn't speak 100% perfect English. And I'm sure I've seen him speak English in a few limited scenarios, but a lot of the time he speaks like when he's doing interviews. I assume he's speaking through a translator. And like he said something like it's not meant to be erotic, it's meant to be sexy or something. And like I'm not 100% sure what the difference between those two things are, but
yeah, I mean they're kind of the same thing, I guess.
Have you seen the update on David Ellis's Twitter page?
No, I don't really follow Twitter.
He changed like the description of himself to currently learning to keep my head down and be quiet.
Yeah.
Why has he like gotten shit for it or something?
Well, of course he did.
No, I mean like on a scale, I guess.
Well, obviously we don't know what kind of shit he got, but obviously he's heard something from his boss.
Yeah.
So,
maybe not off his boss, maybe just off. Oh, maybe
friends.
He did, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. It could just be friends and people. So,
but yeah, like that coming from him when that whole Cortana thing, like.
Yeah, I mean, it can be taken either way. Like, it can be, if you want to like kind of, talk, like internet shit, you could easily say, oh well, Halo 4 Cortana, blah 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 blah. But I think the point itself, I think, is kind of non-existent. It's like I just think it's a really bizarre.
Yeah.
Choice of words to call it disgusting.
And I mean, like
inappropriate, maybe like in bad taste, like maybe
But I mean, like a lot of the stuff that Kojima does is in bad taste, sort of, and it's like it's not even like a sexist thing. Like, I mean, you were mentioning that really sort of hilarious screenshot from Metal Gear Solid 2 where Raiden is like completely naked and
that's a very good screenshot.
Covering his dignity with his hand, and he's doing a somersault, and it's just completely ridiculous. And like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
like
it's like
Kojima has some weird sensibilities, and like
it's so funny though in that, like, when you do like his attack string, like he punches with one hand, like he keeps one hand like on
his junk.
Yeah, so like they don't see his maybe like he's got a really small dick. Maybe he's like really insecure, and he's like, I'm gonna kick this guy in the face, but I don't want him to see my knob.
Yeah,
maybe. Maybe Raiden has issues. You never know.
Yeah, he probably does. He does get turned into like a cyborg ninja, sort of against his will. So
yeah, and he probably doesn't have a dick, but at that point anyway. I mean,
yeah, and he's sort of completely insane in
isn't he like from. Basically, he's like the top jaw and up, and the rest of him is a cyborg. Like,
yeah.
The rest of him
yeah, and he's a child soldier as well, so yeah, he probably does have issues. Also, the other reason I brought this up is because Kojima used the word meme again in a way that I didn't understand. I was talking about this last time about Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. A lot of people saying the word meme, and me just thinking, oh, maybe it's just a weird Platinum thing, but. Now I think it's totally a Kojima thing. It's coming from the Metal Gear side as opposed to the crazy Platinum side.
Yeah.
Oh god, I need to find this tweet because it's weird and yeah. So I think this may have actually been a Metal Gear Solid 4 as well. This use of the word meme, and like I'm still not 100% sure on what it means at all. Like. I'm at a loss. He's basically talking about Metal Gear Solid 5 and how the way that people reacted to the character is sort of one of the themes of the game in a weird way of like different cultures having different ideas of, what is correct. And this is, okay. So the theme of Metal Gear Solid 5 is gene, meme, scene, peace, race. I have literally no idea what any of that means, but that's straight from Kojima's bizarre Twitter account. So
I don't get that either.
Make of that what you will. Kojima is a crazy guy. The story touches the misunderstanding, prejudice, hatred, conflict caused by the difference of language, race, custom, culture, and preference. The response of quiet disclosure a few days ago, incited by the net, is exactly what Metal Gear Solid 5 itself is.
Is Metal Gear Solid 5 just going to be Snake, trolling a forum?
It's going to be like Snake posting something on Twitter, then getting a load of abuse, and then splitting his wrists or something, and
yeah, he's going to be really emo.
Then Otacon's going to be like, this is what happens when you say shit on Twitter. Yeah, man, that's going to be awesome. Then it's going to be a 2-hour FMV cutscene where a nuke goes off, and then it's because
you just play Metal Gear Solid 1.
Because Obama posted something on Twitter, Russia launched a nuke or something. That's going to be the whole game. That's my prediction, at least. So that's about it.
And all that stemmed from a woman in weird clothing.
Yep.
Lady Gaga.
What about her?
I don't know.
She's really kind of dialed down her weird shit. I mean, when you think about it, when you wear a dress fucking meat, I guess you can't really go up, can you? You max it out after that.
Unless you dismembered yourself on stage or something, then.
Well, I mean, I was referring mainly to clothing, but yeah, I mean.
That'll be the next level, maybe.
Yeah.
The next level in terms of clothing would be wearing your own wearing your leg on your head or something.
And having a prosthetic leg and wearing your de-limbed leg,
Yeah.
Or sure. if you cut off your own leg and then made a prosthetic leg out of your actual leg.
Yeah.
This just got really dark.
Yep. The only other vaguely tangentially game-related news was the Microsoft's acquisition of Nokia for $4.6 billion.
Oh yes, how did I forget that?
Not really related to games in a way, but there have been some sort of, I think some people from Nokia are now higher ups at Microsoft because of that acquisition. So
Microsoft Handheld 2014.
Yeah, totally, because
first.
Nokia are experts at handhelds.
The N-Gage, man, that lit the world on fire.
Yeah, ripped it
I
up.
knew all of 3 people that had it. Actually, I didn't.
Real big. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know
had
anyone.
an N-Gage.
I knew one person that had an N-Gage
Is he the coolest person you knew?
Because his dad worked for Nokia.
Ah.
That doesn't count. Somebody actually had to go out and buy one. I didn't know anybody that had an N-Gage.
No, I don't know anyone that bought an N-Gage.
Huh. Okay, maybe it wasn't $4.6 billion.
It was a lot of dollars, though.
It was $7.2 billion, £4.6 billion pounds. Okay.
I would take either of them.
They had to send that to my bank account.
Oh, Steve Ballmer looks so
my
old.
PayPal.
Holy shit.
Though, actually, I wouldn't even know where to begin with that money. So no, just send me the 0.2 billion. Oh, I'd be fine with that.
I'll be wiping my ass with dollar bills for the rest of my life.
American money's kind of coarse. That would be quite painful, to be honest.
I would burn it.
What, and then use it?
And then wipe with it. Be smoother, right?
Yeah, but then you'd just be rubbing ash, and then that'd be messy.
Dirty.
Okay. That's pretty much it for this week. It's been
it's been wild. No, we've got more.
No, it's been really boring.
Yeah, we have more weird shit to talk about.
Yeah, we've got bonus section.
It's been a pretty weird episode.
This episode's been great. I don't know what you guys have been doing. I've been having a great time over here.
I've been watching porn this whole time. Just to make this episode that much weirder.
Great.
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay, You guys ready?
Oh yeah, we had emails, right?
For emails!
Emails.
Oh,
we have
God,
we have a
yeah,
legitimate
God,
email
I
section
totally,
this week.
blanked that out. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have 3 emails, and one of them's actually real this time. And when I say
Yeah.
real, I mean it was sent in by a human being that might not be a robot or from China. Not that we have
Or a
any problems
robot
with
in
people
China.
from China. Yeah, Chinese robots, not the kind of people you want to get emails from usually. But yeah, we have an email from oh god, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. Emil Reinberg. Reinberg. He sounds very European. Let's just say that much.
That
But
sounds pretty European to me, yes.
thanks for emailing in, Emil. Email. I can't-
Email.
Email.
Emails from me, Emil. Oh.
Fantastic.
Sorry for
But-
destroying your name.
Yeah.
in
where I am.
advance, I
Really good stuff.
apologise. But thank you for actually being the first person to send in
Emil.
legitimate
Emil?
emails. Yes.
Okay, let's go with Emil.
Let's go with the emails section of the
The
podcast.
Jesus Christ. This guy
Name
is so. This guy's
this
like,
guy.
why the fuck did I send an email? These dicks.
Dumbasses. They can't even say my name.
But interestingly, this is unfortunately this is from over a month ago now, and we totally missed it because we never actually get emails, so we always forget to check the inbox. But please do email again if you fancy it, or
We
anyone
promise.
else.
We promise we will read. the next email.
We'll read your email eventually.
Hopefully
That's
we'll get
the
your name right
important
next
thing.
time as well.
Yeah, that as well. But this email is addressed to Joe, so prepare your anus.
Okay. Is it fan mail or is someone just calling me a dick?
Emil says, "I'd love to take part of your NGB discussions with the other players. You mentioned
Oh
some
shit!
board
How's this guy's name spelled?
EMILREHNBERG.
Oh, that's Emil Reinberg. Yeah, I know who this is. That's pretty.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty cool. He said, you mentioned some board where you discuss, would you mind sharing where? It's so cool to see people still getting around for this game. So what's this about, Joe?
It is. This is actually pretty cool. This is a genuine because it's a pretty small group. The forum is Ninja Archives. That's what used to be when like kind of NG came out. There was a like kind of the closest thing to like a competitive scene for it, because obviously it's a single player game. But there was a lot of competition around, kind of breaking the game down and scoring and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, that original forum was IberiansNinjaGaiden.com. That was one of the guys was called Iberian, and he made the forum. But through like a load of bullshit, that forum unfortunately went down. And one of the members made a new one. That's NinjaArchives.com. That's the new forum. If that guy listens to this, hopefully, we'll see him on there. Yeah, that's the new forum, and that's a project that me and another player are trying to do. We were doing commentary on the current high score run that one of the players is doing, and we were just kind of going into like the history of like kind of how the game evolved over like the course of its time and like how it got broken down. And we were just going to do kind of like episodes of like just gameplay and just kind of like talk to a few players. The first one was going to be me. I was going to be the first one like to kind of talk about stuff and then hopefully get more people on it. So yeah, if you want to go to the forum and post about that, that would be pretty damn cool, because that's something that would be pretty sweet to get out there. Because unfortunately, with the old forum, being lost in wherever old forums go when they die,
The internet.
all that information is gone. Unfortunately, like
Wow.
all that is, and it was like probably about 6 years of like discussion and history and all that stuff. So yeah, it'd be cool to get that stuff kind of out there again.
You should internet time capsule that shit.
Mm-hmm.
See if it's still around. The email goes on. He says, it was cool to hear about your Evo experience. Too bad you didn't get to warm up.
Yeah, that's shocked.
Yeah. He says, also, I hope you got to see some Super Street Fighter Turbo action. There are some seriously skilled players, and even old school Japanese players joined up. Those guys show some awesome expertise.
I did not see any Street Fighter stuff. I was kind of bound to my room at Evo. Obviously, I was in there for MK. But the finals for Tekken Tag were literally on the same room. They had like 2 screens set up, like two of the like the boards. And on the right was MK, and on the left was Tekken Tag. So I was kind of in that room all day, watching those 2 games. So I didn't really get to see any Street Fighter. And I'm pretty out of touch on Street Fighter as well. I didn't really dig Street Fighter 4. I have a real problem with just the movement in that game. I don't really like it. I'm sure it's a fine game. Like you don't have a game as big as that if the game is garbage. So But yeah, I didn't really get to see much of that stuff. But the only kind of old school stuff I watched while I was there was some of the like pool play for Super Smash Bros. Melee, which was really bizarre to see that game played, competitively. That was pretty interesting to see. So, but all being well, I'll be going to Evo again next year. So
Nice.
it's pretty damn cool. Evo is a great time. It's a really fun time. If you even if you don't want to go to compete, like just go to be there. It has a real kind of like cool like festival almost atmosphere, but it's for fighting games and it's cool. It's really cool for like what I really liked about that was when I was growing up and younger, like games were this like weird hobby that the dorks played. And that was it. Whereas now, like, you have like giant fucking ballrooms that are just full of it, and they have this like huge scene, and that was really cool to see. Like, that was just, I really liked, that games have got to that point. It was just really awesome.
That was the same feeling I had at DreamHack, sitting down and watching the main stage show and thinking, like, it's fucking 1,000+ people sitting here right now just watching this, like it's a serious thing. Like, it's not just a stupid game.
Yeah, it's so cool to watch that stuff live as well. It's I mean,
it's a different experience.
Yeah, like watching streams and everything is cool because I mean you still get pretty hyped, like even if you're watching it on your own.
Oh yeah, the streams are really hyped. But
yeah, but like when you're there live and like you
don't even care. Like even if you don't know the players or you don't even know the game, you can still get pretty hyped.
Yeah, and I don't think you need to understand that much. Like, I mean, I'm not like an amazing Tekken player by any stretch of the imagination, but I know enough about the systems and I know enough about the strategy of the game to get like involved in a match,
Yeah.
Like even like Marvel, like every now and then when I watch Marvel, I don't really know anything about Marvel. It's just the commentary for those games is usually really, really good, and they kind of keep you informed, so you can still get excited about watching it. You don't need to be like an amazing player just to enjoy watching the games. I think you just need like a good basic understanding of the strategy involved, and you can have a pretty good time.
And the last thing Emil said was, also, you mentioned that you're a pad player. I'm surprised to hear that, as I remember you being a Kaz player in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, whatever works for you. There are some Marvel vs. Capcom 2 players that play pad, so nothing seems impossible.
Yeah, I prefer pad. I've tried using a stick, mainly for, I imagine what he's referring to there, in the Mishimas in Tekken, if you don't know much about kind of how the characters work in Tekken. It's largely considered that to take Mishimas to their like peak, you need a stick, because of how to do certain things. I won't get into like the particulars of it because it's just kind of boring people that don't like Tekken. It's just harder to do. It's just a lot harder to do on a pad. I remember when I first got when I got that version of Injustice that came with the fight stick. I tried it out on Tekken, and it does make the individual execution easier. Like, it's easier to do like Kazuya's electric, which is his just frame uppercut. It's easier to do it, but if you don't feel comfortable on it, it's just going to make that one thing easier, and that's not really worth it for me, at least. Like, I much prefer, like, I'm fairly consistent with it now on a pad, just because I've put the time in, to practice it. And I'm still not that consistent. I'd maybe like land that maybe 6 out of 10 tries. But I feel just far more comfortable on a pad. And I think it is just one of those things. And if you're really concerned about like minimalizing execution, like just get a hitbox, because those things are ridiculous. It's very, very easy to lower the execution barrier with those things. But there again, you have to make the adjustment to playing on a hitbox. So yeah, it really is. It's just all about practice and what you feel most comfortable on. If you feel most comfortable on a pad, just stick with a pad and put the time in to practice.
Cool. Well, hopefully that answers your question, Emil. I still have no idea how to pronounce your name. Joe, do you want to do it again for me?
It's Emil Reinberg. That's the dude.
Emil Reinberg. Fantastic. Well,
he was on Iberians, so yeah, I remember that guy.
Awesome.
It was a pretty small community, so there's not many people out there still kicking around, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Especially making videos. There's only like a handful of people making NG videos anymore.
It's really cool to have our first legitimate email.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for emailing in, man. That's cool.
Awesome stuff. We have 2 more non-legitimate emails. Do you want me to go through them?
Yeah, of course.
All right. prepare yourselves. This one is the subject for this one is RE Ladies Garment.
Okay.
Oh no, shit! This is for me. Sorry.
There's a Skype in here. Maybe we should add this guy to the call.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Maybe we shouldn't. That's a terrible idea. No,
Yeah,
I wish I hadn't
actually, yeah.
suggested that.
That's not a good idea at all. I take that back.
It says, nice to meet you. I am a Chinese. I make all kinds of garments. Please check the attachment. Here are some pictures. I wish you will like them. In another hand, if you're searching for other goods in China, maybe I can help you. Best regards, Jack. So thanks, Jack. If anyone wants to add Jack on Skype, his name is Jack Z Hang 881. So add him up.
Sweet.
I will be sure not to do that.
And we have one final email titled, which this is the one that made me laugh before we started the podcast. The subject for this email is supplier for hair donut. And I really want a hair donut. I don't think I'd want to eat it.
Is that like,
But-
or maybe it's a style of hair where you have like a donut shaved into your head?
Well, the type of food changes in the email to hair
Oh,
bun. So it actually is.
You could
it's
do
quite-
that too. You know, girls wear their hair in buns.
Yeah, this is actually for a item, the one you're thinking of that allows girls to put their hairs in buns. But it says, "Dear Sir/Madam, how are you? This is Peter," which is interesting because the email comes from Richard. But it says, "This is Peter from Annabelle Cosmetic Accessories Co. So a supplier of hair bun located in Yiwu Market. We're the main manufacturer here who provide high quality products as well as good prices. I attached the picture of our product. Kindly check it. Our hair bun could be diameter 6 centimeters, 8 centimeters, 9 centimeters, 10 centimeters, 11 centimeters, 12 centimeters, 15 centimeters, and so on.
Wait,
It could be-
so no like 7 centimeters. So
No 7,
against
can't do that.
regulations.
no 13 or 14.
I see.
So, you know, a nice geometric sequence there. 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. That's
Hmm.
not a geometric sequence at all.
No.
It could be customized according to your requirement. I don't know what kind of customizations we could add to it, but I wonder if we could add frosting and a jelly jam filling. That'd be fantastic.
That'd be pretty good.
And our company website is abcacl.cn. Welcome to visit. I look forward to business with you in the future. Warm regards, Peter. So yeah, thanks,
Cool.
Peter.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
He attached a picture as well, so I'll forward you guys those emails just in case you need them.
Sweet.
All right, that does this for this week.
Awesome.
Those emails were riveting.
It was cool to get a legit email though. That's
Yes.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
that was
So,
sweet. That's sweet to get a
I'm-
legit one.
I'm sorry we didn't reply to it in a
Yeah,
anywhere
that's fine.
near a timely
Sorry it took
manner.
us so
That
long.
was
Yeah,
that
that
was-
was kind of shit on our behalf.
That guy's
You sort of-
probably. I think that guy subscribed to me on YouTube though, so I could actually drop him a message. But yo, listen
Yeah.
to this week's episode. Like, sorry, but we
I'm
You
going to
replied.
drop him an email.
Yeah.
That's fine.
we got your
Yeah.
question.
I do sort of wish more people would email, just because I don't know, it's sort of lazy, but it makes content for us in a way. It's just
That is
like
Yeah,
let's
I
just
guess.
talk
It is
about
cool.
this email
I'm
instead of
Pretty
like
sure people do listen to this. I keep on getting people
Yeah.
from time to
My
time
mind's
chiming up
actually,
and saying, "Hey, your podcast." I occasionally listen and like mentioning things on the podcast. So I'm like,
That's
I know there are people out there.
yeah.
It's,
We're not alone.
It's pretty mind blowing that like that email was about NG. That's kind of it still actually blows my mind that like people still follow like people. There's probably all of like 15 of them in total, but like people still watch like the vids I put up for that game, and that
Yeah,
game is like almost 10 years old.
Weird.
It's pretty mind blowing.
So yeah, that does us for this week. Like I've just mentioned, if you want to drop us an email, it's themyelectronicbox@gmail.com. We will actually reply to it on time this time because Brad's going to start checking that stuff
Why is that my job?
because
Hey,
Because you're the only one
podcast.
that can remember the email address.
no, I totally know that stuff. It's just
Okay, well I can't because I forget the email all the time.
Wait, did you say what the email address was, just in case anyone wanted to email
Yes,
it?
themyelectronicbox@gmail.com.
That is correct.
Um,
We have Twitter.
And yes, we have Twitter also, which I'm going to commandeer and just start posting
Post
stupid
bad
stuff
shit. I mean, you've already started posting bad shit on our Twitter.
on. Yeah, so yeah, that's TMEB.
Maybe follow that if you want something to amuse yourself with.
Yeah, TMEB podcast. And yeah, maybe I'll start actually posting on that with some sort of regularity, because that'll be fun. So yeah, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with some actual news, and maybe I'll play some games. I don't know. Maybe all of us will
Maybe,
play
yeah,
some
maybe
games.
we'll actually play something this week. I really
Yeah.
need to finish Metro. I'm gonna have to make some time for that game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe look into Ni no Kuni.
Metro that game is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay, we're gonna have to end this because my bum hurts.
What?
It's this. I need a softer chair. This chair.
You know what? I'm actually just gonna end the podcast right there.
This chair's no good.
That's gonna top like your racist ender. I'm just gonna end it
That was
right
a piece.
there.
That was a dick move right there.
That was fantastic. Like,
That was the best end ever.
I can't even remember now. I just remember being like, oh god, I wish I'd said anything.
I,
That
think,
I said.
I can't remember what you said, but you said something. And
So
I think
racist.
I think it was me or Brad said that's racist, and you just said good, and then I just
I think I said I hope so, which
I can't remember what week that was now. Actually,
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So we're done.
peace. Bye, everybody.